What up, everybody? Yes. 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 Good to be back. It's been a minute. This is true. What's up, Redneck Economics? Good morning. Howdy, howdy, Amars. Thank you, Edwin. Good to be home. Oh, uh-oh. I forgot. I missed you guys too. Can I believe it? I can't believe it. Can we be happy for Cortez? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. I sure as hell am. Lucy's doing good. Lucy's pretty happy. She actually had a little bit to say about the Cortez victory, which she wrote a little thing over on the Patreon, patreon.com/Ron Placone if you are so able. And Lucy is quite happy. Yes, I'm with her. I posted that too yesterday. Someone let me know once we're past 30. Oh, we are. All right. Get your news on with Ron. If you wanna know what's going on, we're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. If you wanna know what's going on, we're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on with Ron. If you wanna know what's going on, getting our news on today. What up, everybody? Welcome to Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means you guys send me articles, we talk about them, and that's how this show happens. And I am back. The road was amazing. The tour was amazing. Thank you, Nashville. Thank you, Huntsville. Thank you, Asheville. Thank you, Louisville. Thank you, Atlanta. I recorded an album, everybody. I recorded an album. And that's going to be out probably in November. So I'm pretty happy about that. And I'm not going to say anything more right now because we're still in the editing stages. We're still going through some stuff, me and the label. So yeah, I should have more info soon, but it's a comedy album. Yeah, it's a comedy album, but I am gonna throw a couple songs on it, presumably Time for Revolution and 27 Since 33. They should both be on it if all goes as planned. So yeah, things are good, guys. Things are good. Oh, this is a good day. Feels nice to smile for a little bit. Although I'm sure there's some bad news, too. There's definitely some bad news, too. But, man! Yes! And, I guess I'll talk a little bit about the tour, give you guys a 411. Tour was great. And 2 of the shows were sold out. We sold out Asheville, and we sold out Louisville. Also, chances are the album is going to be Asheville and Louisville. Chances are that's going to be the album. So that was pretty exciting. It was an amazing thing getting to meet so many cool people. If any of you are watching right now, it was awesome to meet you. Thanks for being here. And it was so cool to connect with like-minded folks and to meet some people. Yes, that was with Graham, myself and Graham Elwood. We hit 5 different cities, and we had an amazing time. So I missed you all. I really did. I missed you all very much. But man, it was so much fun. And future tour plans. Here are some of the markets we're working on in the near future. Southern California. That's where I live. Northern California, San Francisco, Bay Area, Sacramento. If you're in that area and you have any venue suggestions, please let me know. Next, in the winter, where are we probably going to go? Hawaii, Florida. Later in 2019, Colorado. And once the weather clears up, we're hitting the East Coast. We're going to do Boston, New York City, Philadelphia. Maybe even my hometown of Pittsburgh, who knows, although I'll be in Pittsburgh right after Thanksgiving, which, by the way, if there's any Pittsburgh friends here on the stream, November 23rd, that show is already booked. I'm going to be at Hambones in Pittsburgh. You can get tickets at my website, ronplacone.com. If you want to attend that show for free, of course, you can do so by joining the Patreon. Oh, and another area we're going to do probably next summer, Northwest. Portland, Seattle, Olympia, Eugene. We're coming to the Northwest. And later that summer, of course, Chicago. Madison, some of the stuff you guys are pointing out are on the list. Chicago, Madison, and what else were we going to do? Minneapolis. We're gonna be in Minneapolis. I don't know how we're gonna. There's so many pockets in the Midwest, and we can't do them all in one run. So, Marcus, thank you very much for the super chat contribution. Jealous won in my state. Yes, he did. Congratulations, and I am stoked. The corrupt former developer-friendly politicians won all the powerful seats in my county. Goddamn, what do I do, Ron? Man, Marcus, keep fighting, and I'm glad you asked that, because I think that kind of brings me to today's question. So, we talk a lot about Dem-entering versus Dem-exiting, and, you know, I'm one of those people, I support progressives wherever. My personal take on it, and I still feel this way, even despite last night, I still feel that Dem exiting is the way to go. I think that this momentum and this movement that is building would do better with a brand new party. That is, in an ideal world, what I would like to see happen. That's why last year in September, I flew out to Washington, D.C. and showed up at Bernie's office to plead with him to start a new party. And he wasn't there, and of course he's not interested. We learned that. But I really thought that was the way to go in 2017. I really wanted us to start a brand new party. Now, that doesn't mean that's the only strategy that will work. I can't see Dem-entering working long term, but, you know, there was certainly a victory last night. But my question isn't about that specifically. We've talked about that before. We're going to talk about it more in the future. My question today goes a step beyond that a little bit. So here's the thing that I've been pondering. I feel that no matter what happens, whether somehow the Democratic Party can be overhauled, or whether we need to start a new party, I feel like whichever one of those ends up working, and hopefully one of them does. If none of them do, then we're just going to be stuck where we're at indefinitely, where we have a right-wing demagogue every 4 to 8 years, followed by a center-right politician that disappoints us. We can stay in this limbo until this country literally comes crashing down, if we don't do anything. So, but regardless of what works, I feel like the end result is going to be the same, in the sense that the Democratic establishment will dissolve. So whether we start a new party, or whether Dem-entering does work, which, I mean, there's so many things to overhaul there, I feel like that's... I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say it can't work, but I just think, and again, of course, last night was awesome, and it definitely reinvigorated my spirits, and I hope it did the same for you guys as well. It was so beautiful to see Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez win. It was so beautiful to see Ben Jealous win, and that definitely gives me hope for the future. But, you know, thinking long-term here, I feel like, man, it would be better to see them all branch off into a brand new party. But regardless of which way it works, the way I see it unfolding, no matter what, is that the Democratic establishment, as we know it now, will have to dissolve. Because if the Democratic Party is overhauled and hijacked, it's already become a new party. Or if a new party is started and it takes on the Democrats, either way, the Democrats are dead in the water, and they'll eventually just move over to the Republicans, which is where they belong anyway. So whichever system works, the end result is going to be the same. So my personal thing is, why not just start a brand new party so people know this is a new thing, not the Democrats that have disappointed them for 40 years. Now, one can make the argument against me, well, Ron, why build a whole new infrastructure when we can just hijack the existing one? And, well, because there's a lot of hurdles that make hijacking that existing one very, very hard, if not impossible, potentially. But again, whichever method works, and I still think third party's the way to go, but whichever method works, the Democratic establishment will go away. It will just have to. I guess my question is, do you guys agree or disagree with that? I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts. Do you think that if we have a true progressive option in this country, that has clout and power, whether it is a brand new third party, whether it is green entering, whether it is dem-entering, again, let's not talk about that strategy right now. We will talk about it 100 more times, believe me. Let's just put that aside today. Let's just say, for hypothetical sake, one of those three works, right? Movement, Green Party, infiltrating it. One of them works on a large scale, right? Not just in a couple elections, but on a large scale. Could the current Democratic establishment continue to exist in our politics, or would they just inevitably be flushed out? What do you guys think? I'll go to the chat. Democratic Party is not the answer and never will be. I tend to agree. That wasn't my question, though. No, they are dead, flushed out. The third party guy would get the JFK treatment. The Democrats have been tainted to such a degree that I can't see how they can just turn this around. Flush them out, flushed out, most likely flushed out, but likely over a long period of time. If Bernie becomes POTUS, does he become leader of the Democratic Party? If not, who? How does that affect DNC leadership? If Bernie becomes president, which I think that's the only reason he's doing what he's doing, is because he wants to run for president and he thinks he can win. I think he could win if they don't cheat him. I don't have a lot of confidence that they wouldn't cheat him. But I think then if Bernie becomes POTUS, a hijack could be possible. I do think if he becomes president, then perhaps a hijack could be possible. We would need to get rid of superdelegates. We would need to get rid of money in politics. I mean, there's so many fights we would have to still have. And my personal take, and I know some of you agree, some of you don't, my personal take is, why have all these infighting? Like, why have all these infights when we still have a whole right wing to combat? Why not just have a brand new structure that's what we want to see, and then start the fight from there? That's what I think, but, you know, some people would agree with me, some people wouldn't. But either way, you know, would the Democratic establishment, like could there be three potential parties? And if there were, who would go to the Democrats? If you want a progressive option, you'd have this new party. If you wanted a right-wing option, you already have the Republicans. Why would you... I mean, and that's what we're seeing now. That's why the Democratic Party is so uninspiring. Because they don't really stand for anything other than, well, we're not the Republicans. Well, if you have another option with power that also isn't the Republicans, why would people go to the Democrats? There are people in power who won't give up without a fight. That's very true. I think Bernie is giving the Democrats every possible chance. Clearly he is, yeah. Dems and Republicans, as we have said, Republicans running from Trump joining Dems where they feel good. Dems will triple down, pour more money to keep the hold. Yeah, and Alexandria-Cortez, 28 years old, spent one-tenth of Crawley and beat him. Balthazar, thank you for the Super Chat contribution. Dem-entering to fix a party is like trying to fix Nancy Pelosi's face through facelifts. Okay. I actually think she looks fantastic for her age. But, okay. Let's see. I think they'd run to their corporate pimps and literally clutch their pearls, eventually joining the GOP as they always intended. I agree. I think that, getting back to the question, I think that they would just join the Republicans, which is what they are. The Democrats are Republicans. The establishment Democrats are Republicans. And that's why I kind of feel like it'd be better to just have progressives. But I'm all about, I'm certainly happy about last night. I'm thrilled that she won. All right, let's go to some articles here. And let me find the place on the timeline. All right, we're going to start from something from Jessica. Let me give this a Get Your News On With Ron retweet. Separation and killing of children. This is from Counterpunch. President Trump's cruel policy of separating immigrant children from their parents as they sought asylum here mocked the idea that the U.S. government values families. Unfortunately, the U.S. has a long and sad history of separating children from their parents. For example, the U.S. took American Indian children from their parents, and black slave families were often torn apart. Fortunately, the media provided nonstop coverage of Trump's latest abomination. Unfortunately, the media has not provided much coverage of the reasons these immigrant families are leaving everything familiar behind and seeking asylum. Because of our endless war. Some U.S. interventions. For example, since the early 20th century, the U.S. frequently intervened in Central and South America in support of U.S. corporate interests. There's also been little media coverage of some children's deaths. Contrast highly warranted public outrage over the separations of families to the relatively little public reaction to the reported large number of extra deaths of Iraqi children during the 1990s. Yeah, I mean, this goes into people are outraged by the travel ban, and reasonably so. It's a very morally disgusting thing. But nobody talks about how these people became refugees in the first place. Why they're seeking asylum in the first place. Because then you get into something a little messier. Then you get into our economy of war and how disgusting it is. And how it will inevitably fail. But the media doesn't talk about that part. Why? Because they're benefiting from it. The Democratic establishment doesn't talk about that part. Why? Because they're benefiting from it. And the Republicans certainly don't talk about that. Why? Because they're benefiting from it. And they like it. They like it. You don't hear about the defense bills where we give Donald Trump more money than he even asked for. We don't hear about that. The media loves to show the beautiful weapons, according to Brian Williams, these beautiful weapons as they're launching. They certainly don't show them when they land. And yes, people should be outraged by what's going on with families. Absolutely. It is outrageous. It is nothing new. And now we finally have more people paying attention to it because it has the ugly face of Trump on it. Thanks for sharing that, Jessica. Sorry, guys. I'm losing my... I'm not used to this. This is, I'm out of practice, you know? I've been gone for a little over a week. So I've gotten slower at, like, scrolling the timeline, my timeline in real time to... Okay, I think this is just a picture, not... Oh, wait, here it is. All right. This is from David. This is the World Socialist website. Technology giants hold censorship meeting with U.S. intelligence agencies. The New York Times and Washington Post this week published reports of a private meeting last month between 8 major technology and social media corporations and the U.S. intelligence agencies. What were they discussing? Their censorship operations in the lead-up to the November 2018 midterm elections. The meeting was convened at Facebook's Menlo Park, California headquarters on May 23rd and was attended by representatives from Amazon, Apple, Google, Microsoft, Snap, Twitter, and Oath, owner of Yahoo and a subsidiary of the telecommunications giant Verizon, along with agents from the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security. Wow, that's a lot of powerful tech people. By the way, that's also a lot of the people that funded Mr. Crowley, who lost. Sorry, had to throw that in there. The Post described the meeting, organized at the request of Facebook. I think Mark Zuckerberg wants to run for president. I really do. I don't know if it's going to be as soon as 2020, but I think that dude is going to run for president. That guy is a megalomaniac, drunk with power. And he really wants to be in the seat to control the minions. Or dumb fucks, as he would call us all. So now you have social media, who has tons of information on all of us, and as Cambridge Analytica showed us, even if we don't give it to them, they can find a way to get it. They can get it through our friends. They can get it through anyone that signed up. Trump did it. Obama did it. And they're in bed with the intelligence agencies now. Why did all this happen? Russiagate. Russiagate put all of this surveillance on steroids. And I know it goes way before Russiagate. I know that. We all know that. But Russiagate helped put all this on steroids because now they can do this under the guise of protecting our democracy from foreign influence. Protecting our democracy from a rainbow Bernie meme or a meme of Jesus arm wrestling Satan, because that's going to sway voters. This is, I mean, and that's just, and this is why when people are critical of Russiagate, this is why we're critical of it, because we see the cyclical effects like this, like the intelligence agencies overseeing social media more than ever before, censoring you, censoring me, all under the guise of protection. This is the Patriot Act all over again. In fact, it's all the same thing. Except in this case, it's absolute nonsense. These are random Twitter trolls that they need to protect our democracy from. So yeah, there's a huge connection here. And this is why these meetings are able to take place now and out in the open. And that's what's so frustrating. And you still see people clinging to Mueller, like he's going to be some savior. Like Mueller is going to be some hero of the quote, resistance. All right. Thanks for sharing that, David. This is from Edwin. All right. So I saw this briefly this morning. Supreme Court deals blow to public sector unions. Under right to work, unions may not recoup from union non-members their share of the cost of collective bargaining. The Supreme Court ruled on Wednesday that public sector unions may not charge non-members mandatory fees, dealing a financial blow to organized labor on the eve of a competitive midterm election campaign. In a 5-4 decision, the justices ruled that forced collection of so-called agency fees violates public employees' First Amendment rights to not back union activities. All 5 of the court's Republican appointees joined in the ruling, with the 4 Democratic-appointed justices dissenting. The decision overturns a 41-year-old precedent in which the court unanimously found that such charges did not run afoul of the Constitution's free speech and free association rights. But the right wing would tell you money is speech. And you have a desire of the right. And by the way, this is something the Trump administration has been pushing since day one. They want to make right to work federal. If right to work becomes federal, they will kill unions in this country. Unions which are already being picked apart as is. I mean, we've already had the middle class gutted largely because of the fall of unions. Making right to work federal would kill unions as we know it. And nobody protects the unions. You know, you can't make this out like, oh, well, that's why we have to go blue no matter who. No, most Democrats don't support unions. There are plenty of Democrats that have gone along with right to work. There are plenty of Democrats that support deregulation of industry in the name of, quote, job creation. In the 2016 election, there was not a pro-union option. Well, there was, Jill Stein, but as far as who was going to win, there was not a pro-union option. And this just goes into when you have a fringe right-wing party and a center right-wing party, that's what you're going to get. You're just going to get a complete battle to the right. Gee, the quote-unquote party of the working people doesn't even favor unions. By the way, we used to live in a country, Republicans favored unions at one point in time in this country. Republicans were pro-union. Now, neither party is pro-union. Democrats are, you know, it's okay to not have unions. There's other ways for jobs. So Republicans, well, how do you outright that? You go to crush them completely. You go to favor legislation that completely strips employees of any rights whatsoever, which is what right to work does. Same thing with, I mean, it's the same formula over and over again. Gee, Democrats aren't pro-union. We got to outright them, so we have to just completely destroy unions. Gee, Democrats favor our right-wing healthcare plan, so what do we need to do? Well, we need a healthcare plan that takes even healthcare away from even more people. We need to come up with an anti-healthcare bill, since their healthcare bill is a right-wing giveaway to insurance companies anyway. So that's why you get legislation like this. Under right to work, unions may not recoup from unions' non-members their share of the cost of collective bargaining. And again, if right to work becomes federal, which it might, unions are done in this country. That will just, especially with the Supreme Court ruling. So labor is in a lot of trouble in this country. I mean, that's an understatement. It has been for a long time. But now maybe even more so than ever. And I think the fix for that is living wages, A, and a universal basic income, B. We need to figure out a way to redistribute things. Otherwise, we are going to have, I mean, we already have a separation gap between the rich and the poor that could arguably be compared to ancient Egypt. Excuse me. Let's go to the chat, see what you guys are saying. Balthazar, thank you for the super chat contribution. Dems are like mining Python and the Holy Grail's castle in the swamp. You can build 4 castles in the swamp, but maybe building in the swamp is bad. That's a good metaphor. I like it, Balthazar. Gold star for that one. I dig it. I recommend, this is also from Balthazar, thank you again. I recommend stream alerts or live stream alerts for keeping track of not only super chats, but new followers and PayPal donations, etc. Fully modular too. Cool, thank you. Sorry, the first one was Streamlabs. Thank you, Balthazar. Kim! Oh my god, finally I've made it to the stream. Miss your face. Today I'm happier than most days lately. Ocasio and then Ben Jealous revived me. Me too. Congrats, progressives. Agreed. Glad you're having a good day, Kim. And I don't know if you heard, but I know you're up in San Francisco. And Graham Elwood and I are going to be coming to San Francisco hopefully in the fall. So I hope to see you there. All right. Let's see here. Sorry, guys. I'm real slow on the timeline today. I'm out of practice. I'm out of practice. All right, some of you guys are sending similar things about the victory. Well, here, let's go. We'll go there next. Let's go here first. This is an interesting one. I'm curious what this is about. This is about copyright law. And this is from Candace. At least I think I'm saying that right. Just gave it a retweet. An EU copyright law threatens to kill memes for everyone. Okay. So there's this copyright law out there. It might kill memes for everyone. Let's see what this is all about. Pepe the Frog, the distracted boyfriend meme, and author's balled up fist are all under threat. No thanks. I do not want to let you know my location news site. I don't want to do that. So are reaction gifs, such as the one of a confused Zach. All right, okay, we get it. We all know what memes and gifs are. Okay. EU lawmakers may inadvertently destroy the internet's robust meme culture with a proposed law designed to fight online piracy. One article in the legislation would force online platforms such as Google, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter to automatically censor copyrighted content uploaded by anyone who isn't licensed to share it. Activists say the law will effectively kill the text and photo jokes known as memes, which often feature images from copyrighted TV shows and movies. The law would also have a profound impact on the sharing of fan art, video game streaming, movie trailer reactions, and a wide range of pop culture-focused blogs created by users within Europe and beyond in countries such as the US and Canada. Okay, so here's the thing. In the United States, and I know everybody's laws are different in this regard, but in the United States, we have the First Amendment. We have freedom of speech. And that includes, when it comes to copyright law, that also includes some stanzas such as fair use. And fair use usually falls under, say you take a creation, basically you take a creation and you add to it. And you kind of make it your own creation, which one could argue that is exactly what a meme is. You take an existing photo, you add different things to it, words or so forth, to give it its own meaning. That's a meme, basically. That's essentially what a meme is. I would say that falls under fair use, no questions asked. Also, there's permits when it has an educational component. So if you're sharing political information, you're using a meme to get across a political point, I would say that certainly 110% falls within your First Amendment rights. And anything used to censor that would be a violation of First Amendment rights. Now, Facebook, Google, etc. are all private companies, so whether we like it or not, which I of course don't like it, they can censor whatever the hell they want. They should be public utilities at this point, but they're not. So people are saying this law could be disastrous. Many activist internet titans are condemning this. This is called the Copyright Directive. So it's very interesting that we're seeing this extensive censorship on a worldwide scale, and it's not just limited here in the United States, because there's been a worldwide outrage about everything that's been going on the internet, and who are the people making this stuff? Well, citizens. We the people are. So let's see if we can figure out, let's see. So the internet platforms would be, so this is Article 13. The copyright directive legislation is primarily designed to take aim at online piracy. But the two articles in the proposal have sparked outrage online. Under the potentially meme-killing Article 13, internet platforms will be responsible for automatically censoring and removing any unlicensed content. The internet platform will be legally responsible for any breaches, meaning the everyday user wouldn't be charged for posting a meme, you would just be censored from doing so altogether. Article 11 of the legislation has also come under fire for requiring platforms to pay a licensing fee in order to feature photos and links from online publishers. Opponents have called it a link tax. And several EU-based media organizations held the copyright directive in a joint statement, calling it a crucial stand for the future of free independent press. A lobbying group representing Google, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and several online platforms have also come out against the law. I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't see this going too terribly far. I think... Although I guess we live in an age where people take memes very seriously. So who knows? Maybe this will go further. We'll see. Let's see what you guys are saying. If you created a meme and made money, then I could see copyright or giving part of it to the original content. Yeah, at the same time, when you take a meme and then you add to it, it is no longer the original meme, therefore it is a law trying to control people's thoughts. Yeah, I mean, I see that. It's an attack on free speech. Billboard commercials are all memes. That's very true. It really got far. I heard so. Don't mess with my memes. Seeing Bernie arm wrestle Satan made me vote for Stein. Left needs to get innovative on the internet situation. I agree. Fred points out, if Article 13 passes, all uploads will be filtered before hitting the internet. And that's probably what this is all about. This isn't just about memes or giving a copyright holder credit. This is about wanting to have greater control about what goes on the internet. Okay, because the elites are losing their monopoly on the narrative, as Pam Ryan points out. This is fascism. Daniel, you are correct. This is definitionally what fascism is. Marcus, thank you for the Super Chat contribution. What can progressives do to win in conservative areas? My personal thought, look up a guy named Justin Pietro. I think folks like that are doing what really needs to be done to win in rural areas as a progressive. And the short answer is having a true populist message that connects with the heartland, that kind of utilizes the everyday language. Don't talk like some, quote, liberal elite. People are sick of that. People are sick of that. All people are sick. People on the left are sick of it. People on the right are sick of it. Poor people are sick of it. Rich people, they're fine with it. But you know what? So I think that's how you can win in conservative areas as a progressive. All right, interesting article, and we'll have to keep an eye on. We'll have to keep an eye on Article 13. I'm not. This is my first time being exposed to it. I'm still learning about it, but I think anything that cracks down on what you can and can't post on the internet has some cyclical effects and can be a pretty bad thing. So we'll see how this all unfolds. All right. Okay, this is from TJ. We're going to go to the article itself now. Or, excuse me, the article itself now. We're going to go to the back to the election from last night. So this is from CNN. This is CNN's take on what happened last night. I have a feeling they're going to try to trivialize what happened. I haven't seen this article yet. Does anybody want to bet against me? Does anyone want to say, I bet they're not going to try to trivialize Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's win? This is from TJ. TJ shared this. I've never seen this article before. But this is called 4 Major Lessons from the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez Titanic Upset in New York. Well, they are calling it a Titanic upset. I'll give them that. At least they're acknowledging it as a big upset, which it was. All right, let's go. At first glance, the upset victory is no big deal for Democrats' chances of flipping the House in November. There we go. After all, the Bronx and Queens seats is overwhelming Democratic and has zero effect on Democrats' fight for the majority. But the first glance is very, very deceiving. This isn't just about a single House race. This is about the struggle for the future of the Democratic Party, both in New York and nationally. This is about the kind of candidate Democratic voters want. This is about the kind of leaders the Democratic Party will have after 2018. Maybe this is one of the few diamonds in the rough, you guys. Maybe I shouldn't have been so quick to judgment. In short, Ocasio-Cortez's victory is about a whole hell of a lot more than just a single strongly Democratic House seat. 4 major lessons Democrats should take from her win, the primary upset of the 2018 cycle to date. Number 1, the Democratic base is sick of the establishment. Donald Trump's hostile takeover of the Republican Party and the establishment acquiescence to him in 2017 and 2018 put a massive spotlight on the divide between GOP leadership and the Republican base. Meanwhile, Democrats have been in the early stages of a civil war of their own between pragmatic establishment types and liberals infuriated with the Trump presidency. That's how you would describe the conflict. I think the conflict is between corporate apologists that are basically conservatives in denial and actual progressives that until recently thought the Democrats were their best bet and are slowly learning what the Democrats actually are, which is a right-wing party. Because a lot of quote-unquote liberals are infuriated with the Trump presidency that are also equally infuriated with progressives. They dislike progressives as much as they dislike Trump. Maybe even more. Because nobody likes to be out-lefted. Nobody likes it. If you think you're on the left in the first place. Meanwhile, Crawley, the heir apparent to House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, could lose... Well, wait, he did lose. Is this from the past? Okay, no, it's not. Oh, I'm sorry. That Crawley lost to a 28-year-old. Shows where the energy of the party is right now. Okay, number 2. Politics punishes people who get ahead of themselves. In mid-April, Politico ran a story on Crawley with this headline, Queen's Party boss angles to succeed Pelosi as Speaker. Alright, I think this second point is pretty weak. I'll say this. And Crawley lost because the voters preferred new ideas, fresh blood, and a progressive platform. Not because he got ahead of himself thinking he'll replace Pelosi. And he also lost because his campaign was terrible because he took the votes for granted and he didn't show up. He didn't show up because he'd rather rub elbows with the establishment. That was the choice he made. Whereas Alexandria, who did she want to rub elbows with? The voters. So if you want to talk about why his campaign sucked, and it did, talk about the fact that he wasn't there for the people. Not because, oh, he jumped ahead of himself thinking he'd replace Pelosi. No. Politics don't punish people who get ahead of themselves. Politics, when done right, punish people that aren't there for their constituents. When politics is done right, that's the punishment people get. And that's the punishment Crawley got, and that's the punishment he deserved. He deserved to lose, and he did. Number 3, House Democrats need some younger blood. I'm not even going to elaborate there because no frickin' shit, Sherlock. Number 4, women rule. Those are the 4 major lessons. Okay. Not bad. Number 1 was pretty good. The other 3... I mean, I think number 3 and 4, they focus more on identity politics. And, well, it's... I mean, yes, of course we want some fresh blood. Of course we want some young blood. Of course diversity is awesome, too. That's awesome. It's awesome that a 28-year-old Latina woman beat out this old establishment white dude. Abso-frickin-lutely. But that's not why she beat him. Or certainly not the only reason why she beat him. She beat him because she has ideas, and she has determination, and she's motivating, and she's engaging, and she has a platform that most of the party wants. That's why she beat him. So yes, there are, if I could think of 4 lessons, I think that a lot of it has more to do with, it goes beyond identity politics. Let's see what you guys are saying. Yeah, Stephen points out she's also an unabashed democratic socialist. Ha! You have to give CNN credit, Jennifer says. You have to give CNN credit. That was the most informative article they released in years. You know what they say, 1 out of 4 ain't bad. They had a decent book. The article started out, I was just like, well, shit, maybe the egg's on my face. They went a little deeper than I expected. And in fairness, they did. They had 1 good point out of 4. I was expecting 0. But, yeah. Good point, Jennifer. TJ points out, that's why I sent you the article. It seemed like one of CNN's rare good ones at first. Then I read past the headline. Hey, TJ, 1 out of 4 ain't bad. And I figured that's why you sent it. So, again, but I posted this on Twitter, and maybe some of you guys saw this. The first thing the corporate media does to a social movement is they try to trivialize it. That is the first thing they do. So, of course, they're trying to make it out like Alexandria won just because of demographics and just because of diversity. Of course, they're trying to make it out like that's the only reason why she won. And you're going to see the resistance try to take credit for it. But no, it's way bigger than that. It's bigger than that. And we know that. We know that. So don't fall for the media's attempt at trivialization, because that's all they do, because that's all they know. They don't like social movements. This has been going on since the 1960s, probably even before that. Look up the media theorist Todd Gitlin if you want to look at a map of how all that happens. The first thing they do, they trivialize it, then they marginalize it. And then eventually they try to take credit for it when it becomes so big they can't ignore it. And they hope that you forget the fact that they were on the wrong side of it from day one. They did it to the civil rights movement. They did it to SDS. They did it to every anti-war movement from Vietnam to now. And they'll continue to do it. They did it to Occupy. They didn't do it to the Tea Party because that had Coke money. That wasn't an actual grassroots movement. Kimmy points out, crowdsourcing can help. Who can make flowcharts showing the benefits of Medicare for all, $15 minimum wage, free college? Libertarians need to see cost-benefit of paying more taxes, i.e. spend less money here, gives more there. Yeah, that's a great point. Good call. I'm with you. All right, thanks for sharing that, TJ. And let's see what else we got here. This is from Seawalk. And I heard something briefly about this, but I'm not... This is some more Supreme Court shenanigans. Alright, so the Supreme Court rules that California can't make crisis pregnancy centers reveal what they are. Supreme Court rules that California can't make crisis pregnancy centers reveal what they are. Okay. Let's read on. That's okay. So what does this mean? In a 5-4 decision on Tuesday in Nifla versus Becerra, the U.S. Supreme Court upheld a challenge to the 2015 California law that required reproductive health clinics in California to provide certain information to clients. The court, in an opinion authored by Justice Clarence Thomas, found that the statute known as the Reproductive Freedom, Accountability, Comprehensive Care, and Transparency Act, the FACT Act, likely violates the First Amendment and sent the case back to the lower courts. This represents a big loss for states trying to inform women of their full range of reproductive options. The FACT Act was enacted in response to the rise of crisis pregnancy centers, often with religious affiliations, that held themselves up as full-service reproductive health clinics, but opposed abortion and often provided pregnant women with inaccurate or misleading information about their options. So Supreme Court rules that California can't make... Okay. So basically, if you're a religious, quote-unquote, institution that doesn't give everybody all their reproductive choices, including the right to terminate a pregnancy, you don't have to reveal that. People can just think they're going to a normal crisis center. Meanwhile, they're going to one that is infused with religious dogma. And they're trying to make it out like it's a free speech issue, which is nonsense. This is a transparency issue. This is a consumer protection issue. Which is weird, you know, the right wing is all about consumer protection when it benefits the corporation. But when it benefits people, i.e. saying what's in our food, i.e. saying what is actually going on at a pregnancy crisis center, they're fine with keeping the public in the dark. And here's just another example of that. And you know, I mean, I guess the big takeaway here is you just gotta Sorry, I got distracted on Twitter by a meme somebody made. This is awesome, actually. I freaking love this meme. All right, I'm retweeting it. This is from Momo, Michael Nano. I don't know if you're here on the stream, Michael, but if you are, thank you. And you totally just disrupted my... Well, it's not your fault. It's my fault. But your meme was so good, I totally just completely lost my train of thought and completely forgot what I was talking about. I just retweeted it. It says The Doors, but it's spelled like Jimmy's last name, and it's all of us. It's all of our faces on the doors. And it's awesome, and it's hilarious. And I'm still... Is that... I think that's Mike... Who's the last one? Is that Mike McRae? I'm sorry, you guys. This is so unprofessional. I totally, completely lost my train of thought. But, I just shared it. I just retweeted it. Guys, we gotta outlaw these memes. You know what? I just completely flipped right here. I now support Article 13. Because I can't let this unprofessionalism happen to me again. And it's totally my fault, but I need somebody else to blame. Michael, I don't know if you're here, but thank you. Oh, it's Randy on the end? All right. Let me see. I can't. Is that Randy? I can't tell who the last person is. And I know I'm discussing a meme that not everyone sees right now. And I need a frickin' monitor behind me. Damn it. We need... guys. Patreon.com/Romplicone. It's time. I need a monitor behind me. So when something like that happens, you guys see it too. And you're like, we too are distracted, Ron. Go to the meme. Go to the meme. We get it. The Supreme Court just did something shitty to women's rights once again. That's what they do. And I'm not trying to down. That's terrible. I'm not trying to make light of it. But I just totally got distracted. Check super chats. So what you're saying with OBS, I can show you guys my screen, but then you can use... All right, whatever. We don't have time to talk about this now. All right. I'll take some questions, and then we'll end that way. Yeah, this decision is bad. It's terrible, and now more than ever, people need to help each other out. If you know, and I know that's kind of a cliche. I apologize for not being more insightful. But man, that Doors meme was really freaking good. Yeah, the lesson is you really need to stay adamant about helping each other in your community and making sure that if somebody is in having an issue with their pregnancy, they go to the right place to get the help they need, and the right legwork needs to be done, and the right support needs to be there. When the government is letting us down on it, we need to help out each other. That's kind of like the moral of the story there. Jennifer, what's your favorite Mike McRae character? Hillary supporter. Hillary supporter, and his Barack Obama voice is beyond ridiculous. It's so freaking funny. Whenever he does Obama, I just start laughing. I think it's hilarious. Streamlabs, I need to look into. And, yeah, I think the last guy... Okay, Kim's saying that I think that's Mike McRae is the last one there. Steve is pointing out that we need Brownie in that meme. That is an awesome meme. What's the date for your SF show? Steven, we have not booked it yet, but we're working on it. We're hopefully going to have something for you soon. Did we talk Dana Balter? We did not. Tweet it to me tomorrow because we're out of time today. Huge cheers for Ocasio. Absolutely. Winkle agrees with me that Hillary supporter is fantastic. Winkle, are you coming tonight? Which, by the way, Los Angeles tonight at the Sycamore Tavern out on Sunset. Free parking, by the way. We got a show going on. It's Politics Night at the Dojo. Rick Overton is going to be there. Who's doing a drop-in set? Jimmy Dore is. Also, the Miserable Liberals doing a drop-in set as well. Also, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be hosting. And some other great political comics in town are going to be there. Tracy Walker, Derek Lemos, Raja Michael, Lenny Shelton. It's going to be an amazing show tonight. And a bunch of people are going to be there hanging out. And, yeah. So, if you're in Los Angeles... Oh, and by the way, I gotta announce this too. The, all the proceeds that the comics make tonight, like all the proceeds that go to us, the comics, is going to be donated to Races. I mispronounced it yesterday on Aggressive Progressives. I don't know if you guys heard it. I was on Aggressive Progressives yesterday, and I pronounced it Races. Because I thought that was how you were supposed to pronounce it. Because I thought it was supposed to be like a metaphorical, satirical thing. Like it sounds like racist. And that's why they do it on purpose. But it's not. It's pronounced races. So people thought I was making a joke. Like people thought I was trying to be funny. Like, yeah, we're giving all the money to racists. Like they thought it was trying. But I meant the organization. Which I thought you pronounced it that. Yeah. Anyway. People laughed because they thought I was making a joke. But I wasn't. I was talking about an organization, and I totally mispronounced the name and confused everybody because I'm an idiot. And David points out that the Sycamore Tavern is a short walk from the Hollywood and Highlands subway station too. David, I hope that means you're coming tonight. I hope that means you're coming. Derek points out Hillary is not a progressive? Question mark. Crazy, right? Who'd have thought? Let's see. Zero Divisor, have a good one. Celeste, good to have you back, Ron. Thank you for their Super Chat contribution, Celeste. And it's very good to be back. I've missed you all very much. I really have. Did you get to check out any of those Mason J or Mimicking Bird songs on the road? I did not. I still have a bunch of music to check out. Guys, when we did the Music Monday, I did take screenshots of all the music you guys suggested, and I will get through it a little bit at a time. Let's see. So, yeah, we totally will. Balthazar points out Hillary is a progressive. 100% of her donors agree. Guys, we got a fun show tonight. I hope some of you can be there. I have to go. This is me, Get Your News On With Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. Guys, I'm really ready for some equipment upgrades, but I need your help. Patreon.com/GetYourNewsOnWithRon, or excuse me, Patreon.com/Ron Placone. For any level you want to give, you get all kinds of content. Today, Lucy wrote a thing about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You can read that today if you're a patron. It's a give what you can level, and you all get the same stuff, which is an exclusive podcast every week, something on Wednesdays, which is either a video or a writing or something, and my album, which we just recorded, will be delivered to your inbox when it's finished. Patreon.com/Ron Placone if you are so able, and you get free tickets to any of my shows. Guys, I love you all very much. Did Ron say Stephanie Miller will be at his show? No, I meant Stephanie Zimmerano, the miserable liberal. She will be there. Stephanie Miller will not be there. Unless she's going to show up. But yeah, I doubt she will be there. Anyway, guys, I love you all very much. You guys are awesome. I hope to see you very soon. Fred Edward, Real Vinyl. Yes, I don't know if you're asking about my album, but my album will be on vinyl, yes. Thank you guys very much. I love you all very much. You guys know the drill. Guys, we're back, so I'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I will see you then. Until then, you know what? Celebrate a little bit. We've earned it, but there's still a lot of work to be done. There is still a lot of work to be done. Have a good day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Oh, and Garden Gnome, you can't buy my album yet because it's not out yet. We just recorded it. We recorded it last week, so it's not going to be out until November. But believe me, I'll be letting you all know. Peace out. I love you all very much. I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.